right? Have you had that come across you before, where a producer or a company would call you in and say, "Hey, we have this book, read it. What would be your take?"
Yeah. Yes. I've done that I've done that a couple of times. I'm only laughing because they were jobs I was like really happy to get. And, I got them and I got paid for them and wrote scripts I was proud of that will never see the light of day. But that's also a reality of this industry. It's like the work that gets made is the tip of a vast iceberg. And there's like the rest of the script are underwater, like never to emerge. There are people who I think are brilliant at doing the thing you mentioned earlier, which is what's selling right now, what's the angle that will make something what people want right now. I think if I tried to do that, I would be bad at it. Like I don't think I'm plugged in that way and think in that way. So the only approach that's worked for me sometimes is really always reminding myself, like, what is my version of this? What is the version of this that I would do? And that inherently will make it different from, what it's the same with actors when they talk about auditioning and having a better experience when they really just do what their take is and about what people want. It's kind of the same thing, because
making a choice. I mean, just go in there and make a choice.
God forbid you pitch, what you think the industry hot version of it is that doesn't really spark internally for you. God forbid you get hired. And now you have to spend 2 years.
Now you're stuck with that.
Writing this shitty version, that you don't believe in. So I wrote this movie for HBO Films, and I remember they were like, they're looking for a writer for this paleontology story, and I watched a documentary on them and like some books, and I just remember being like, here's what I think the metaphor of this is. I think it's the bones prove evolution, and survival of the fittest is this core rule of Darwin's theory of evolution. And as they prove this theory scientifically, we watch it in action between the two of them as their competition makes them better, but also kind of destroys them both. And I was like, that's the version of this I want to write. And they were like, you're hired. And then right as I was doing like the last polish on the script, Michael Crichton's widow, found an unpublished manuscript he'd never published that was a novel that was a fictional version of the same story. And suddenly there was like the Michael Crichton adaptation version that Steven Spielberg optioned. And like, my version of the story just went away instantly.
It got kind of lost in the shuffle.